For the first time after more than 18 months of ongoing war on Gaza, the European Union has stepped out. They're saying they want to sanction Israel unless Benjamin Netanyahu stops the humanitarian blockade over Gaza. But despite that, and despite the fact that Netanyahu said he's easing the blockade, things aren't really changing on the ground in Gaza, we tell you.
Gaza's main hospital is overwhelmed with patients, the majority of which are infants in pain from acute hunger and malnutrition. Doctors say they have treated over 9,000 children in the past 5 months and are expecting thousands more in the coming days.
We are now facing a disaster. This disaster will be dire if there is a continuation in the blocking of food supplies.
Experts warn that the Palestinian territory could plunge into famine if Israel continues its extensive and deadly operations in Gaza. However, the WHO says Palestinians are already starving. Palestinians in Khan Yunis unloaded flour from one of the first aid trucks that was meant to supply bakery. Israel says it allowed 100 aid trucks carrying flour, baby food and medical equipment to enter the Palestinian enclave after lifting a 3-month siege on transportation of much-needed humanitarian aid. UN officials reported that the minimum allowance of aid supply for a population of 2 million Palestinians is a drop in the ocean, further saying that the aid distribution is not reaching Gaza's population.
Some aid's finally reaching Gazans in desperate need, but it's moving far too slowly. And it's only a drop in the bucket, a teeny tiny drop in the bucket. We urgently need faster clearances and unrestricted access to get the food into the hands of the people on the brink of starvation. Humanitarian agencies need immediate, unrestricted, and safe access to flood Gaza with life-saving aid. Without urgent action, lives will be lost.
The voices against IDF operations are growing by hour, with Europe threatening to impose sanctions on Israel. United Kingdom has decided to pause free trade talks with Israel after UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said he was horrified by the military escalation in the Gaza Strip.
But first, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to say something about the horrific situation in Gaza, where the level of suffering, innocent children being bombed again, is utterly intolerable. Mr. Speaker, over the weekend we coordinated a response with our allies, as set out in my statement with President Macron and Prime Minister Carney last night. And I want to put on record today that we're horrified by the escalation from Israel.
On the other hand, there is seething anger among Israeli ranks and families of the hostages over the expansion of war.
I think that if at some point the President of the United States, President Trump, will take part and perhaps will summon the Israeli Prime Minister and say to him in no unclear terms that enough is enough, that may be very useful. And I have to say that I think it will not be an unfriendly gesture because the large part of the Israeli population does not support the expansion of the war.
Israeli Prime Minister says it is ready for a temporary truce that ensures the return of remaining hostages, stating that by the end Israel will control all of the Palestinian territory.
Our forces are capturing more and more territories to clear them of terrorists and Hamas's terror infrastructure. And at the end of this process, all of the Gaza Strip will be under Israeli security control, and Hamas will be completely defeated.
Israel is not only expanding its operations in Gaza, it is also planning to implement US President Donald Trump's vision for the Palestinian enclave. For Palestinians who remain steadfast in the enclave, say they are not leaving their ancestral land. For Gazans, the ongoing military operations are the second wave of what they call Nakba, or catastrophe.